All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, and I'm definitely happy and grateful to be here with all of you as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals in the Forex market to see what we can take advantage of for today. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. Everybody can hear me loud and clear. If you're all ready to go, do me a huge favor, drop me a 1 in the chat so we can get this session going. All right. So let me check on something real quick. Great. Okay. Marshall, Michelle, Amit, Reese, everybody. Okay. So let's zoom out. Let's go and take a look at trading economics, and we can see that today, July 6th, we have day 2 of OPEC meetings. We've got challenger job cuts coming out, but the main thing today is, hey, we've got the ADP private sector employment numbers coming out, so we'll see what happens at 8:15. Then we've got unemployment claims coming out for the United States. We got trade balance also coming out for the United States and Canada. We got trade balance numbers that came out in Australia last night. That was actually pretty good for Australia. And then at 10 o'clock, we've got ISM services PMI and JOLTS job opening. So again, holiday week, but towards the back half of this week, today and tomorrow, we've got some pretty important reports coming out. If we move over to trading economics front page, German factory orders jump, right? We know Germany is the largest player in the Eurozone. So we see they rose 6.4% month over month in May, easily exceeding market estimates of 1.2% and following an upwardly revised 0.2% rise in April. This was the largest increase in industrial orders since June 2020, boosted by a rise in large-scale orders. New orders for vehicles soared 8.6%, and those for other transport equipment surged 137.1%. So that's good for the European economy. And then we see as a result that European shares fall on Fed hawkish stance coming from yesterday with the FOMC meeting minutes, and then the Eurozone retail sales unchanged for a second month. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. But we see here that the UK 10-year bond yield surges to a 15-year high. So we're going to take a look at some of those pound pairs today. We know we've been bullish on the pound, but this right here, when you see that 10-year UK gilt going up towards 4.6%, that usually means the bulls are out for the pound, because you're going to have an increase in demand for the currency as investors look to shift into 10-year UK gilts, right, which are the bonds. So we'll take a look at that. And then we see here from yesterday that the Fed is likely to raise rates further this year. And then, like I mentioned, Australia trade surplus larger than expected, came through pretty good, especially off the revised number from April that was revised down. So that's it. They have a trade surplus, but the market kind of seems like it kind of shrugged it off, right? So a lot of you still have some downside pressure on the Aussie. So let's take a quick look at the DXY. We can see this morning we've got a downturn. Looking at the daily chart on the DXY, so we come into Thursday with some downwardly pressure on the dollar. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. There, I want to jump into these pounds because with those UK gilts, with the percentage moving up on that, right? So again, UK 10-year bond yield surges to a 15-year high. That's bullish for the pound. So let's start out taking a look at our pound pairs today and our crosses. So we'll start out with the pound Aussie. So we know we've had some bearish sentiment on the Australian dollar, and we're bullish on the pound. So you can see here that from a weekly level, we are moving, right? It keeps doing the dance with this 192.24 level, but we are pushing towards that monthly resistance again, right? And so we know we have a monthly D extension right around this 196.15. We need to power through that level. So it's knocked on the door multiple times. So we're going to see, with the rise in expectation of continued interest rate hikes, which has those UK gilts on the move, we can see here that as we look at the daily chart, we are pushing to the upside again. So if we come down to the 4 and we zoom out, okay, we can see where that monthly level got rejected. We got a daily level here too. But you can see it found support here at this 189.78, which is a 4-hour level. And we're moving up again today. So we're going to continue to watch that as this bullish move on the pound Aussie is still in place. So we got a 50% pullback on this 4-hour fib. So we expect a 1.618D extension. And then here's that weekly 1.618 extension there, right? Yeah, so weekly level. So this morning, right, the pound bulls are out. So we'll continue to watch this pound Aussie to see if it can break through this daily and monthly level to continue to the respective extension. This is what we're looking like on the 1 hour as we zoom in this morning. Okay. So we found some support. This pair has been a little bit all over the place, but it's still moving long. So we'll see if we can take out this most recent high here and continue to 191.68 and so on. Any questions on the pound Aussie? Nope. All right. All right. So let's move along and take a look at the pound CAD. All right. Looking from the higher time frame, look at our weekly level. And we can see for the week, we are moving bullish. Okay. We are moving bullish. So here's a high, right? That's being taken out today. So we're definitely moving long. Here's some daily levels here. This is what we're talking about. All right, we're starting to push through. Okay, our stochastic on the daily is still moving out of that buy zone. So we look for continued bullish momentum, right in line with Jeremy's crown pattern. Right, Jeremy, I know you're up big on this one so far. All right, looking pretty good as we continue to move long. All right, so here's our ABCD wave, the right side of that crown playing out. Okay, so let's see if we can break through that 169.81. You got a 4-hour level there, right in the same zone. So we can take this level out, take out the high. We look for a continuation to 171.45, which is a weekly level here, and then a D extension on that fib. So great work there. And if we come in and we take a look at the 1-hour chart, okay, we are running long. That's a beautiful move. Okay. It's a beautiful move. So no matter how choppy it looks, A, B, C, D. Any questions on the pound CAD? Got some excellent price action going there. Nope. All righty. Let's take a look at the pound Swiss. Weekly chart. Moving higher for the week. Okay. Still within this range, right? But we're moving long. And you can see here, right, where we've got that continued push off that 113.22. Has resistance becoming future support, right? So trying to get back to that 115 and then so on, continue to move long. And then this is the setup here. Took a while, right? But now we've got some momentum coming. Okay. So we tend to trade zones. We don't try to time things up as much as we look to trade the zone and trade our sweet spots. So far, so good. We've got some 4-hour levels here that we need to get through. So we'll let the price action do what it's going to do. All right. So that's a good A, B, C swing there, right? Again, A, B, C, our lowest point within the AB boundary, and we're looking to get to that D extension. Any questions on the pound Swiss? Nope. All right. It's a beautiful thing when the market is moving. You got some volatility, especially when you've got your fibs in alignment and you've got your overall directional bias in the right direction. Because then, right, that's why we always say focus on getting consistent and catching a pitch, because the money will come and you don't have to trade large. You don't have to put the house on the trade because you just seen it, right? Pound Aussie, pound CAD, pound Swiss, all moving in the same direction, right? So you can clean up on all of them if you want to, right? On all of them. So far, so good on the pound Swiss. Let's take a look at the pound yen. So we know we've been bullish with the yen crosses. So we're naturally looking for longs. Now, this is a monthly chart here. For sure. For sure, Joey. Good morning. Jeremy was spot on with that. He saw it. He saw it. I was thinking range. He saw that crown. Teamwork makes the dream work. I definitely missed it. So here we are on the pound yen. And this is a monthly. This is a monthly ABCD wave, right? Can't say it enough. Now, pound Aussie, pound CAD, pound Swiss, pound yen, A, B, C, D. Can't make this stuff up. Whatever you use for confirmations, whether it's moving averages, MACDs, whatever type of crossover, the foundation of what we do and what we believe is that this market moves in waves. All right, ABCD waves. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's playing out right here on the chart. All right. Kiki, good morning. Appreciate you being here. So here we are on the daily. Okay. We're moving into some pretty high levels here, right? So we know we've gotten a daily D extension hit. Okay. So we may start to see some momentum slow eventually. But right now, 1 second. My mouse is moving too fast. All right. So here's a daily wave, smaller wave than the monthly. And you can see that we completed, right? Again. And we do this over and over and over again because sometimes it's hard, right, to believe or imagine in your mind when that price is here, right, that it's going to move all the way here to that extension. Okay. But it does. Now, we've got a daily stochastic that's moving into the buy zone. So we may, before we see a major correction, potentially, especially with the UK gilts being up this morning, right? We may see that monthly D extension hit, maybe a retest of that 188.65 before we see a major correction. Not sure, hard to predict that, right? But just know we're getting up into some pretty rare air here. So eventually, we'll see some sort of correction, especially since we know that we've got the Bank of Japan watching runs being made on the yen. So you can see here now, this is moving sideways and we're recovering. Okay. So you're looking at a potential breakout, right, of the level. Okay. Price breaking out. So here's that daily extension. This is that monthly 1.618D extension. So if we break out and make the run to this 118, 127 zone, we start to look for momentum slowing down in an 80-20 type scenario. At some point, these yen crosses are gonna correct, right? So it's been a while ago now since we identified that double bottom off that 236 and price just ran. Okay. So if we break out of this level, we look for price, the potential for price to stall. Again, we've got that monthly 188.65 level. So we have all types of stuff going on in this zone. So we may start to see price correct. We know we're already starting to see it a bit on some of the yen crosses. I know the euro yen, and I believe Carolyn posted some of her markups in the Discord, which is awesome. We definitely encourage people doing that. If I'm not mistaken, she had posted the EJ move to the downside that she caught. So at some point, we'll see some relief on these yen crosses. So just continue to be patient if you haven't been involved in any of the longs or anything like that. At some point, it'll run out of steam. The Bank of Japan will step in. So that is the pound yen. Any questions on that?
No.
All righty. Let's take a look at the pound NZD. All right. This one's a bit of a mess, right? But you can see that we found support, right? Look at the break and the retest, weekly chart now. Breaking a retest at 197.21 and we moved up, okay? So we're stalling a bit now. Stalling a bit. But you can see, right? We've got another ABCD wave playing out. Right? A, B, C, right? So we ultimately look for that daily D extension. All right. So it's doing the dance right now. There's a lot of traffic there, a lot of daily levels, super choppy. But at the end of the day, right, you can see we want to focus on, if we zoom in, take a look at our 4, you can see where we almost double bottom at that weekly level, that 197.47 level. Okay, almost, not quite. But you can see where we're kind of holding up. Now, this one, we've got a stochastic here that's in the sell zone. So this one is not as clean, right, and decisive as we've seen on some of these other ones. But we want to continue to watch this, right? Because even though we didn't get a deep correction, right? We almost came in at this 382. We know the pound is bullish right now, but technically we are in the 80-20 zone. But what I want to watch to see is, do we hold right at this 4-hour level? See, we broke below it, okay, but we didn't close below that 204.98 level. And you can see that we've got some bullish momentum in this 4-hour candle. So we'll see if price moves. Right? We don't have an official swing high here yet. This is the second candle to the right, but let's continue to watch it. Continue to watch our 4-hour stochastic here to see if we stay above this level. If we do, then we may just continue moving up for some time. Right? So that one's not as clear and decisive, but we'll see if we can continue the momentum to the upside on these pound crosses. Any questions on the pound NZD?
Nope.
All right, so let's take a look at our pound dollar. All right, so on this weekly, right, we've got a test at this 117.96. We've been pushing bullish ever since, as a matter of fact, right? It's amazing how you move up through the higher time frames, and it's just, you can see the breaks and the retest very, very clean, right? So you've got a break. You got a break and a retest here, then we've got a continuation. Right? We're looking like we want to continue to move bullish right now from a weekly perspective. Here we are on the daily chart. We've got support. Right? Look here. It's clean, right? We have to see that. past resistance becoming future support. So we're looking like, hey, we've got a daily stochastic in the buy zone. We're looking like we want to move up to retest that 128.48 level. Okay, see if we can break it. Okay, so we know now that we have support there, that level. Okay, right in that zone. So as we move down through the charts, okay, we got the 4 hour. It's coming off this 382. Look at that, right? But at the 1, it's super clean move. Very, very clean. Okay. Look at your daily 125.90 level, right in line with your 61.8. You got your previous D boundary there, which we know is a level of resistance becoming support. Move sideways, and now we're breaking out long. So we're chasing that 128.48. If we break through, here's our near-term extension. So look, there's your setup. See, everybody can do it. Okay. Bang. Right now, ABCD wave, right? Again, looking to move along. Okay. Out. 61.8 pullback. Look for 1.618 extension. Okay. The fibs are beautiful. The framework is amazing because you hear so much talk about risk to reward, things like that. How do you consistently put yourself in the proper risk to reward? This is why we look for those deep corrections. This is why we trade them. We know we have caveats, but hey, I've got a double bottom at a major fib level, 382, that's high in the zone. But then we're looking to place stops. So if we have a double bottom at a higher fib level, right? Then we know we have those caveats to where, hey, we're going to move that stop up below that double bottom or whatever the price action pattern is at that level. But here in the traditional sense, we like these deep corrections, not because the 61.8 is super magical, right, or anything like that. We like it. What's the real reason? Because it puts us in a favorable risk to reward ratio, right? So adjust this just slightly, right? So if we wait and we remain patient for those 61.8 pullbacks, right? Those 786 pullbacks, okay? It puts us in a really, really good risk to reward ratio automatically. So we had daily support coming in at that level, all types of good structure. That's 111 pips. Put our TP on that. It's almost 375 on a 1 hour chart. Okay. So this is why we do our best to try to stay within the Fibonacci framework. Okay. We know we have different situations, sideways markets and stuff like that, where we can trade ranges, but for the most part, these are the clean moves that we like to look for. Now, will it move straight to this level, right? That extension? Probably not. It'll probably do some dancing around and pull back a bit, but ultimately, we want to see it like the rest of the pound crosses that we've seen. We want to see it move to its extension and then continue to move on, right, to those higher time frame extension levels. Okay. Right. So here at 134, I think I've got it all right. Down in the lower time. There we go. 133, 134. Right. In that zone for that higher time frame extension. Okay. But that's how that's what the framework looks like. And we look to do the same thing over and over again. Trading. This is trading with the trend. right? It's making higher highs and higher lows. Here's a low, okay? Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low, okay? And we're moving, right? ABCD wave. Any questions on the pound dollar? Oh, all right. So let's take a look at let's take a look at this Euro GBP. So we're continuing to break through some levels, right, to the downside. So this is the weekly here, and we're moving down. So we'll see. We're going to take out this low, right? This low price here. Not officially a swing low. So we got this second candle here. It's looking like it's going to push, but this is our lowest level, most recent low. And so here we are. Okay. So we are back at 85.18. So what we want to see is if today, do we get a break and close below this zone here? Okay. If so, all right, we look for this to continue to move bearish. But I would wait for a break and a close at that level. So we can zoom in on the 4. Okay. So we've been sitting here for a while, right? You see here, wait for breakout. Okay. So we want to see if we can break this level finally and close below it. Then we'll look for a potential retest and a continuation down on that. For right now, we're just going to wait. Okay. Any questions, right? I'm just looking at horizontal support and resistance on this. Any questions on a euro pound? All right. So ahead of the numbers, I want to take a look at that are due out today, ADP. I want to take a look at some of our dollar pairs. And I want to take a look at the UCAD. So we're trying to, right? We'll see what the numbers look like. Of course, we got non-farm, but you can see here where we're trying to break back above this 132.62 level. So this one's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. So we've got some bullish momentum this week. We know we saw the DXY coming into the day is down a bit, but I want to continue to see if this holds above this level. So you can see here on the daily, you can see a little bit cleaner where we've gotten this U-turn, but one sec. I'm interested to see if we can get a close, right? See that daily level there? Look at the candles, how it's struggling. Right? See if we can break it up, and close above this level, and then we'll see if we can continue long. But you can see how we've gotten a trend line break as we zoom in through the lower time frame. Okay. But it's struggling a bit. So just continue to watch this UCAD, okay, to see if it wants to eventually close above that 132.86 daily level and continue to it's the extension on the 4. UCAD could be tough sometimes, but here's what we look like on the 1. Right? So I would love to see this pair finish out as ABCD. This can always be a little bit challenging. Right now, right, we got to pull back in our zone and we're good. Right, we're looking pretty good. So let's see how that continues to play out. Right, that level is going to be key if we can get back above it and continue. Any questions on the UCAD? No. All right, let's look at the UJ. This is our monthly fib we've got running right here. Gotten a U-turn at a 382 on the monthly. We know we've been long. And you can see, look, you see it, right? You see the pattern, you see the wave. So let's look at this now. Okay. You see how we broke, retested the level. We broke, really hadn't gotten a retest of this level. Do we swing back lower? Okay. And then potentially look to continue. Okay. Don't know, but on the 4 right now, fib is a little off, right? Should be a little bit higher there, but it's all good. Okay. So here's this level, right, at 142.25 daily level. So if we get this trend line out of the way, okay, we can see we're getting that correction. So this would be the official, right, zone to retest there. You guys see how that all comes together, right? Why top-down analysis is very important. Okay, seeing it from the 10,000-foot view, and then coming down, okay, and finding opportunities on your smaller waves. So if we look to continue long, we really want to pay attention to this level here if we can get price to move back down in that sweet spot. Okay. And then that becomes, right, it's just like in basketball, right, or in football, right? Basketball, high percentage shot. Football, high percentage throw, right? It's the same thing, right? Where's that area of highest probability for what we like to trade? If we're looking for a long continuation, right here in this zone. Because why? It's going to put us in the proper risk to reward situation. Right? If I can do that consistently, right, and I'm in those 3-to-1s, we know it. We go over it all the time. I only have to win 30% of my trades to make money. The goal is to have a higher winner percentage, of course. But I protect my backside if I make sure that I'm patient enough to wait for price to move into my area of highest probability that puts me in the proper risk to reward ratio. That's what the fibs can do for you. That's what the framework can do for you. Okay? If I lose this trade when it gets to the zone, I can live with that, right? I just have to be consistent in finding the setup. That's why we take the same approach over and over and over. Okay. So we'll continue to watch to see if we can get price to move down to that zone. This is the ideal level. Okay. That we want to look for. Any questions? That's clean on the 4-hour. I'm gonna leave it right there. Any questions on the dollar dollar yen? All right. Carolyn, awesome work on posting your charts in the Discord. All right, kudos to you for doing that. You keep getting better and better and better. It's the way to hang in there. Great work. Great work. For sure, right? Put some sevens in there. Right? And I know a lot of you, right, have gone and posted charts and things like that. Keep doing it. Repetition is the mother of all skill, for sure. All right. So that's the dollar yen. I want to take a look at this this dollar Swiss. See what we got going on, right? We're kind of flat, to be quite honest, from the weekly level. So we'll move down to see what we're looking like on this dollar Swissy. So we know today we've got some bearish price action on the dollar. So the question just becomes, do we hold the highs on this pair and continue to push down? I have to look further into what's driving that that bearish momentum today on the dollar. You know, we know we've got the UK bond yields moving up. I have to look at the bond prices this morning once we close out to get a better idea of capital flows. But we're definitely getting some bearish pressure on the dollar, which I think it's probably going to be temporary. But we'll see. We'll see on that. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. It's early, still early. Right. So we're kind of just in this range, moving lower. Right. It's good day trading. You know, trades you could take advantage of there, right? In this small range, because we're definitely moving bearish. Here's a low on the 4. Not much in regards to what I like to trade, but if you spotted that, right, price holding was at 89.94, and we turned over again, pushing lower, right? There could be some things to be made on the lower time frames, like here on this 15. See, so it just depends on how granular you want to get in that range, but not much, right? Not my thing really. We do have price moving lower, so that's it. I don't have any plays on the dollar Swiss. Any questions on that? Nope. All righty. Okay. I want to look at these New Zealand pairs. We still got some good momentum moving to the upside, right? So a nice bullish week. We've moved back to the top of this range. So we'll see if we can continue that momentum. Here we are on the daily. Okay. So you can see that range, right? We pointed that out last night. Good morning star candlestick formation, and we move long from there. So we're into that 82.59 level. It's just a matter of, do we continue now? Can we continue to gain momentum and make it all the way back to this 4-hour 382? Right now, we've got the direction right on that. It's been moving long. So this is the next test here, 82.59. Maybe we get a pullback and a continuation, but I want to hold firm to that 382 target there. Okay, of course, we got another weekly level before that. All right. So if you're in that long, just continue to manage your trade. We've got an extension that it just ran into as well. So we may see some corrective action, but I want to see that momentum carry through eventually. So far, so good on the NZD CAD off that reversal, off the lows. Any questions on that? No. All right, let's look at our NZD Swissy. So we're still at some tight levels here, but we're moving bullish, right? It's found some support. Look at that. Back above 55.12, 55.99. See if we got any levels in between. Look at the zone. Right? Sometimes it's good to just come in, look at horizontal support and resistance, and make your plays. Okay? Look at how, right, we've moved strong bearish. Look at that. That's a nice bearish candle. It's a daily candle. Look how it got held up by support. And we made a U-turn. Okay. So we know, right, off that level, when you see that, okay, hey, I'm going to deploy my fibs, right? Going long. So we got a 236. We didn't get that nice deep correction, but we've got our direction right off the higher time frame support levels. Okay, so we'll continue to keep an eye on this NZD Swissy. Okay, and this is from a while ago, watching that 4-hour stochastic from a couple of weekly rituals ago. But you can see once that, the reason why we had that there is because we saw it come back down, right, into these levels again, right, pretty much for a third time, but our 4-hour stochastic wasn't back in the buy zone. Once it got back into that buy zone, it took off. Right? So the bulls are in control. As you can see, we're not getting deep pullbacks, right? And now we're into this 1.618D extension, which is why you don't have this fib highlighted anymore. You caught it at 54.62. Great work. Great work. That's way down there. There's 54.60. That's a great entry, Joy. It's a great entry. Congratulations on that. For sure. So let's see. Right? Let's see if it wants to continue the momentum. Like I said, we come into an extension level there. We've exhausted a bit, but that's a great move. That's a great move. All right. So look at the NZD-JPY. Just running. Look at that. Look at that weekly fib. Magic's in the math, right? So there's an ABCD wave. Okay. So if we come and take a look at, we've got a high right here, right before that extension. A couple of them actually. So we've got some levels that we need to mark up. Don't want to get blindsided, surprised by a correction, right? Very important to do your top-down analysis and go back and revisit your charts at those high levels. Okay? As you can see a correction there. Right? And if you're trading the lower time frames, your 1 hour, your 15, if you get a correction here, right, that may look like it's going to fall forever on a lower time frame. But it's just running into weekly resistance. And the bullish move will most likely continue. So I want to make sure I get these marked. This is a weekly extension at around this zone. Now look, everybody. Look at how wicked this price action is, right? That's why we don't like to get caught up in all of it, but we trade our zones, right? I'm going over this just for good exercise. Okay. Look, hey. Look. How's it starting to act funny? Maybe my battery's stuck. I don't know. Hold on one second. I don't know. Moving all over the place. Anyway, you guys can see we're in that ABCD wave, right? Oh, I had my battery too long. That's what it was. There we go. Sorry about that. ABC, right? Look at all that sideways price action. Look at the continuation. See? The market can do whatever it wants to do, but it's staying within that Fibonacci sequence framework. Everybody see that? Drop me a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure we're good on that, because eventually that'll help you with your patience, right? Once you get your risk management down, once you believe in trading small and adding to your positions as they move in your direction, right? Because you want to trade small, we can lose fingers. We don't want to lose an entire hand on one trade. Okay. Always remember that. I'll lose a finger. I don't want to lose a hand. Right. So off that pullback, this is a daily now. Right. So you're looking at right below the A is 526. If we hit that D extension, that's 1,400 pips, almost 1,500. And there's that higher time frame extension there at over 1,600 pips. So what this tells you, I know, Carolyn, it's a huge move, eh? Huge move. But what this tells me is might not be the type of person to say, hey, I want to stay in this trade for for that long. But right, it's chopped in and out. Right. Then it finally here's our clean trend here. Right. This is where we finally got the momentum. Okay. Moving. Right. Making those higher highs and higher lows finally broke out. But what this tells me, right, if I'm not necessarily the type of person that loves to hold long position trades, is that if this is my upside target there at 1,500 pips or so, that just tells me, hey, if my directional bias is right, I have 1,500 pips of buying potential. Now, how you play that on your lower time frames is totally up to you. Whether you use 4-hour fibs to get there and 4-hour targets, Fibonacci sequence targets, whether or not you use 1 hour, 15-minute, that's totally up to you. The most important thing is that we ultimately get our directional bias right. Okay, there's my fibs there. So you can see it coming off that low. There we go. So you can see how we're coming into a 4-hour extension. See? Yeah. And we're back in the buy zone on the 4. Okay. So we'll see what happens once we get that extension here. Any questions on the NZD-JPY?
No.
All right. NZD-USD. Right. Found some support. Right. We're moving a little bit bullish, rangy though. It's rangy. Right. So that's when I start looking at that sideways support and resistance. Okay. Higher time frame candlestick patterns. Okay. Look at your decision. That's a strong move, right? Candlestick, sign language of the Forex market. Okay. So we created a higher low. But look at how that's telling you something, right? Look how strong that candle was to the downside and how we came back into this level here, right? Of support. Okay. See that there? Right. Demand. Look how we all of a sudden got indecisive there. Decision, indecision, decision. Okay. So if you say, hey, I like to trade higher time frame, support and resistance, just looking at that, just raw price action. Okay. If you see that from a daily time frame, that type of pattern formation, candlestick formation there, then if I've repped this out mentally, seeing this over and over again, and I found support right here where we seem to have some demand, okay, I pull the trigger, right? I look to pull the trigger there, put my stop below the low, okay, and it runs, right? That's telling you something, okay? You can see, right? Look. How that's just moving up. Okay. We've got a stochastic back in the buy zone. We know we saw the DXY this morning. We got some downside pressure. Now, we know that when we have you know, pretty big fundamental reports that's starting to hit at the end of this week. We saw that downside pressure on the dollar. Is it temporary? We don't know. We've got ADP numbers coming out. We know the expectations and the forecast is to be higher than previous, I believe, on ADP. No, lower. It's forecasting lower from the previous 226. Last is 278. So we'll see how that impacts the dollar. And then we've got unemployment data coming out as well. So GDP, inflation, job numbers, right? Very, 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 very important fundamental aspects. Okay, so these are important. We know that ADP private sector is just it's a precursor to our non-farm on Friday, and then we've got ISM today as well, and Joe's job. So jobs, okay, jobs, right? What's the health of our economy? ISM services PMI coming out. Okay, what are the purchasing managers saying? All right, are we showing expansion or a contraction? Previous was 50.3. We're expecting 51.3. So higher than previous. We'll see what it comes out to. All right. So we'll see how the market moves and how it reacts. But we're moving up right now. That's a 4-hour support that's trying to form. But it could change. It could change once that data comes out. So let's see. Any questions on anything that we covered today? Sorry, let me back up. Let me check out this let's look at our Aussie dollar to round some things out. Sorry about that. 1 second. All right. So this one's kind of doing the dance. That could go either way. All right, we'll see how these numbers come up. Okay. I know I've been playing it. Right, short out of that zone. We're getting price to move back up right now. Found some support there. We're in the buy zone. This one might dance around a bit, just like how it looks on a higher time frame. Right, shorted out of the zone, but that's all but taking it back now. Right. Taking that back. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're still within that framework there. Let me get this trend line out now. Bring this up. So let's see how that plays out. Okay. Gave us some good price action, but now we're moving back up. So that might dance around and move sideways a bit. We shall see once the numbers come out. All right. So that's the Aussie dollar. Now back to what I was saying. Any questions before we close out the session for today? Appreciate it, Michelle. Carolyn. Nope. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Video on the Discord brought out that by playing the higher time frames, we're getting lost in high frequency trading. We do, right? That was a great interview. Peter Brandt. Yep. If you haven't watched that, check that out. Chat with traders. All that stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Yeah, it was. For sure. Make sure you guys check that out. That's a great podcast, Chat with Traders. I don't too much get into like your YouTube, like kind of like they trade, but like pretty heavy on the marketing side. I tend to try to find like real high level traders, in different podcasts that they're speaking on, like some, the Wall Street guys. A lot of them, if you're looking for a lot of those type of professional traders, you can find a lot of them on Twitter, right? On Twitter, that's the space typically, and then on podcasts like Chat with Traders. So shout out to that podcast. He does an excellent job. With that being said, hey, everybody, have a awesome day. The Humble Trader is excellent too. Yes, check that out, the Humble Trader. So make sure you guys follow that, right? That's a good little nugget there. Really good nugget. So have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.